the goal was to engage the design community, color enthusiasts into a conversation around color. That same principle is really the same today. It's to highlight the relationship between what's taking place in the culture and how that gets expressed into the language of color, because color is a language, it's a silent language. And where do I go? How do we work? We have a global team of people that are involved in the color selection. They are looking across every single area of design, seeing what's going on across fashion, across travel, across sporting events, across new technologies, lifestyles, play styles, anything and everything that can influence the world of color. These are people that are steeped in trend. I liken them to being color anthropologists. We've been doing color forecasting. But at the same time, when we're talking about AI or whatever it is, you have to have that human quality. And there are people that are so absolutely skilled in taking what they've seen and then being able to predict where is that going to go.
I think that's fascinating, and I think, like, Lori, one of the things that you were talking about, I mean, one thing that I think is really a testament to the difference between trends and fads is the fact that Pantone still remains and has only gained in relevance in its work that it's done, right? And it continues to be sort of this bastion of design and trend. And I think that that is an indication of the sort of this combination of human and data-driven. But sort of going into color a little bit more in depth, I'm curious how color impacts each of your respective fields and each of your respective vocations. And I wonder, maybe starting with you, if your work is so defined in many ways by vibrancy, by joy.
I'm a graphic designer and illustrator, but I originally started out my career as a graphic designer. And my illustration career actually didn't really take off until I was kind of forced into it because of COVID. And I think during that time I was looking for a lot of inspiration and joy in a very dark time. And I think that's why my work is kind of partly very colorful. It has to also do with my background and my upbringing, but I would like to say that during that time the work that I produced happened to use a lot of fluorescence and just clashing colors, because I think I really needed that in that moment. So color in that way I think is like really therapeutic to me as an artist. I try to really lean into that.
I am curious, there are going to be three options. One is, I'm excited about AI. One is, I don't care. And then one is, oh my God, they're about to sort of rise up and take over. So, who here, raise hands, is excited about AI? Who is ambivalent, capital A, capital I, as sort of broad category?
Well, first of all, they say that a sign of intelligence is being able to hold two opposing thoughts in your brain at the exact same time. So I think it's a totally acceptable answer to say I'm both excited and I'm worried, right? Because I think that would encapsulate kind of where I'm coming from. I think it's it's really wonderful and exciting and incredibly powerful, the opportunities, and we'll talk about some of them. We can talk about more. And if you don't know, we call the hero image for the 2023 Pantone Color of the Year. The team is actually in the room collaborated with an AI platform to make that image. And it's one of the most beautiful images that I've ever seen. It's like haunting, it's iconic. So I don't think that, and I think any of them will tell you that probably would not have happened if it wasn't for the interaction of generative AI. And you said a quick rapid fire, but at the same time, I really hope that we as a society don't continue to make the same mistakes that we seem compelled to make over and over and over again. And I would like us to think about this in a more thoughtful way, because I think that it can go horribly wrong. I certainly don't want it to go horribly wrong. I'm going to do everything in my power to ensure that it doesn't, but obviously I think we all have to kind of have both those ideas simultaneously in our brains.